This area here should be grass, and underneath the trees that are in front, it should be a layer of 5 inches of mulch, but everything is laid bare. This is where the pigs have been. It's all muddy. It's really not nice at all to see this, because it should be covered either with grass or with the mulch. All of this should be covered. Hi everybody.
Hello everyone.
We're not going to answer a question today. We're going to talk a little bit about what's happening here at our place. We mentioned some years ago, I think it's probably more than 5 years ago now, we had pigs that came onto the property, and the pigs came from wherever they come from. They're breeding somewhere, and the pigs started coming in, and they were getting more and more brave every day. First, they were coming just at night time, and they were here for a period of, I would say, at least 5 or 6 months, maybe even longer.
Yes.
And they were coming in, and what they were doing was eating the banana plants and causing a lot of mess. And throughout the time that they were here, they systematically were killing all of the banana plants. So they killed way over half of our banana plants, maybe more, closer to 2/3 of them. It was a very, very sad thing to see. We were obviously not at all happy about this. We would go out and see what damage they'd done every day, and we were at a loss because, frankly, there was nothing that we felt that we could do. It was outside of our control. We're not people that would want to shoot them
Or hire
somebody to shoot them. We don't want to get involved with that, but we understand that the only solution that was sort of available to us was the fact that the other farmers don't have our ethics. They don't share in our morals, and they had a lot more to lose than we do, because they're farmers. They make their livelihood from growing food. So the pigs would have been going onto their land too and destroying crops. So after a period of several months, the farmers just came in, and every night we would hear shooting. They would be shooting every night. And eventually the pigs stopped coming. I think they must have killed them all. But what happened is that about a week ago, they came back. I went out at the back. I was checking out the citrus tree that we have there. I was going to pick some lemons. Katushka, she likes to eat lemons. And I noticed that the pigs had been there. You can see very clearly where the pigs have been. They're digging up everywhere. And I came in and I told Kritika, I said to her, look, I've seen sign of pigs being back again. So that was a bit of a sad news. And a couple of days later, I woke up and I heard pigs. They were coming stealthily in the middle of the night, and they've got this guttural screech that they do that woke me up from my sleep. And I went outside, and I never saw them because it was too dark, but I heard that there were pigs there, and I clapped my hand and shouted with a very deep voice at them to go, which they did. But since then, they've been coming back every night, and they've been making such a mess, digging up the grass, digging up all around the back of the house is dug up. Not only they dig up the lawn, they make the ground uneven afterwards, and they just leave mud bare there. I've got some trees that are there, and it took me probably a couple of months to put cardboard down under all of them and put mulch on top of all of them. I had a thick layer of mulch. I think it looked really nice afterwards, because then I don't have to weed under the trees. I don't like weeding so much, but I like to put down mulch and stop things growing there. And it also feeds the trees. So I've done that on a whole bunch of trees at the back. And the pigs, in the space of the last week, they've completely destroyed all that mulch. It's gone. So it's just left bare, the soil under the trees. It's muddy. It's not pleasant to walk in because there's pig feces in there too. So it's very disheartening to see that, and to see that all the work that I put in placing the mulch there and the cardboard and things is all gone. I think they end up eating the mulch as well. I don't know what they eat, pigs. I don't
everything.
eat everything. I mean, I was digging, I always think they're eating worms, but they're such big creatures, I can't imagine how they can just be living on worms. So they must be eating roots and whatever they find there. And under the trees, they're just digging. They're destroying the roots of the trees. The trees, fortunately, are well established, so I think it would take a lot more for them to actually kill the trees. But some places, the trees are a lot smaller, and I've seen before where pigs have totally uprooted a small citrus tree that's grown, completely dug it out. This morning I went and I noticed that there was a bunch of banana plants, maybe 7 or so of them, and they had completely rooted around at the bottom and knocked them all over. Now, I don't know why they never ate bananas that were knocked over with it. There was a bunch of bananas that they would have eaten if they'd known better, but for whatever reason, they didn't recognize it as food, and they didn't even eat the banana plant. All they did was dug it up, and the banana plant was like this round at the base. One of them was really big, and yet still the pigs managed to dig it up so much and push the whole plant down, the whole 7 plants down. So they're all on the ground, lying there with one banana bunch which was there, already partly eaten by the brush turkey. So the brush turkey had already been getting into it, which is another problem we have.
Yeah, it's, you know, the living on the land may have a lot of hiccups, a lot of headaches, because they are not here alone. There's a lot of other animals. And because a lot of people have fences and different barriers, so the animals have it difficult too. You know, as humans, we have it difficult, so is the animals, because we suppress them in many ways, and they want to eat just like we do. And because this world is not set up ideally, every farmer in this area have to deal with those wild pigs. And their problem, where they are all over the globe, I know in Europe they go in cities, in the parks and stuff like this.
You should be aware also that in Europe they're actually native wild pigs that live there, whereas here in Australia there weren't any pigs until European settlers came in, and they brought pigs with them. So these pigs are domesticated pigs that have gone wild. They're feral pigs, and they're 2-3 times the size of the small European ones. I've seen what damage a small European pig can do too, but these are like little tanks. They're quite frightening creatures. They have such a high-pitched scream they make, which is sort of nightmarish. I'm not a fan of them. We generally welcome any new animals that come here. We like to see the wallabies never do any harm. The kangaroos, we hardly see them here, but we welcome all the birds. We're not really worried about snakes and things, which we get here. We got echidnas. We've got a turtle living in the dam. We've got lots and lots of lizards living around the place, geckos. We've got other animals, and none of them we bothered about. We actually always pleased to see them, but pigs are never pleased to hear pigs, never pleased to see them. I don't have hate for them. We don't hate them in any way, but we just don't know how we can live with them because they make life extremely difficult. And Kritka mentioned about fences. We don't have a fence. We've got 2.5 acres. It's sort of a regular shaped piece of land that we're on, and we don't have a fence at all, and we don't own the place. So even if we had money to spend thousands on a fence to put it all around, because it would cost probably 10,000 or 20,000 even to get a fence all around the property, it's not our property anyway. So it's not a thing that we're going to be spending money on doing. I don't even think that the landlord would be happy with it, because it's not our decision to make.
And yes. Unfortunately, again, it's not always smooth ride, but I'm thankful for every year the pigs are not here. I'm thankful the large damaged bananas. Most of them came back, but mango have a hard work to actually, you have to cut the plant but put the roots back, and it took a while before the banana develops again a good root stock and can start really coming back. But I don't know really what we would do if we really depend only on the fruit from our garden, because there is not only the predators like pigs and at the moment brush turkeys, but you know, you have all those different bugs and insects, those pests, and they also do big damage. And then you have all the different fungi, and because we don't use any chemicals here, a lot of fruit actually come out spoiled as well. So the earth is too damaged, at least on certain places, where to grow your own food is a huge ordeal. It really might be to be truly successful, you will have to make those big, like greenhouses, and grow it that way.
Yeah.
Full protection from everything outside.
That's right, because you can't use a fence to stop insects. They're not going to do anything. If you put in a strong, sturdy fence, you could stop pigs. The brush turkeys would come over, and the brush turkeys, now we've only got one or two that are hanging around here for the last couple of years, but we never had them at all before. And once they start multiplying, they eat the fruit off the trees, so they, in a way, it's even more disheartening. The pigs can't climb trees. The pigs can stand up on their hind legs against a tree and reach low-hanging fruit, but the brush turkeys can fly right up there and eat the fruit off the tree. It's very sad to be looking at this, because you put in so much work and effort only to have it all destroyed by other animals that they're hungry too. They just want to do what animals do. With pigs, I see them as being very, very destructive. Now, a lot of people would say humans are very destructive, and that's true. Humans are very destructive, but humans have a potential to not be. Humans have a potential to follow their heart and do what's right. Humans have a potential for true progress, being compassionate beings, to evolve into a new kind of species that isn't destructive as we are. We do have that potential. People can do that at a drop. You can change overnight. You can say, no, I'm not going to be involved in this anymore. You can do that at any time. But pigs are pigs. Pigs do what pigs do. They're destructive, and they should never be here anyway in the first place. It's the European white settlers came over here thinking they want their pig flesh to eat, and ended up letting them go loose, or they escaped, and now they're everywhere. They're a huge, huge problem. I've heard some people say they should go around and shoot them all with darts and sterilize them. And I'm thinking, well, you're coming up with a solution which to me isn't a solution either, because I don't know what a solution is. The solution everybody has is to shoot them. Now, I know that one idea is maybe you could catch them and relocate them, but in Australia that's completely illegal. You're not allowed to do that. Not that we care about legality or illegality. What we care about is morality and immorality. And even if we could catch a pig in a cage, we've got no means to pick up that cage and put it. We don't even have a ute. We've got no crane that we could pick it up and put it on there. Even if we had the means to do that, all we'd be doing is moving the problem somewhere else, because somewhere else would then have that problem with the pig. Because people are everywhere, and if you want to eat, if you want to eat food, you're reliant on farmers, and farmers don't have the same kind of ethics that we do. Not at all. They'll go out there with their gun, they'll sit there at night, and they'll shoot whatever they can. They've got to protect their crops, otherwise they've got no livelihood. So it's an extremely sad situation.
Yes.
But on the bright side, because we've got to be positive, really, and we understand that this world is temporary. We understand that our existence on this world is temporary, even more so. And we understand that things are as they are, and it's pointless whinging about it. We've got to look on the bright side of life in a way. So when I see that they've dug up all the back of the house there and made such a mess, I immediately feel down. But then I feel, what can I do? It's just, that's the way it is. And I know the other night, Kritka, you looked out the window. Tell them what you saw there.
Yeah, because was light on. We have a night light in the big garden, and it was on because we already knew pigs are here, and we left it on believing the light will frighten them. But actually opposite was true. They arrived and they were digging there in the back. I couldn't hear them, but when I went to bed, I could see through the window because we have a glass all the way down. There are the pigs. So I went and I looked closely. I was counting them fast because they were moving and stuff. There were 12 of them, but I believe I missed few. That was scary look. They big, they huge animals, and they like together.
They were glistening in the rain because it was raining.
Yes.
And they were shiny.
Yeah, this black, shiny, like they actually, to me, remind me of this like huge snails, you know, those ugly black slimy slugs, like on the steroids or something, too much protein or something. It was scary vision for me. I said, this is scary. And what are you going to do? They multiply so fast, those pigs. And but as Mango said, we have to take it positively. This is the world we live in. It's not perfect in many ways, and this is just one of them.
Because it means also that where they dig up, which was lawn, which was grass, because we do have grass here as well as trees, and I've got a ride-on mower because it is a rather large area. I couldn't do it without that, and we have to keep the grass short because otherwise it will grow up 2 or 3 meters tall. And we want to be able to see where we're walking as well. We want to be able to see that there's no snakes that we're going to be surprising. So I keep the grass short. But where the pigs have been, the ground is now uneven. So it means that the lawnmower is going to be going up and down. So I'm almost thinking that until it gets to the dry season, I'm not really going to be able to mow there because once you get in the mud, the mower will get bogged down. So it's very unfortunate. But at the end of the day, we have a roof over our head. We have enough fruit to satisfy ourselves. And I think it's extremely important in life to count your blessings. So although we've been just counting some miseries, we have to return to the fact that we're extremely blessed in this life. We have each other.
That's also a blessing.
Yeah. And we have our peace and quiet, which we want. We've got beautiful nature around us. We've got birds we can look at.
We have a dam
to swim in.
We don't have a chlorine water in the house.
No, we don't. We've got natural water in the house. We've got fruit on our trees. We've got akis coming on now. We've got citrus, oranges. They're not in season at the moment. Mangoes are just finished. We've got jackfruit, and we're taken care of. So we can go and buy something if we need it.
That's right. We have even money to go and buy fruit we can't produce here.
So we're very, very thankful for that. We count our blessings. We thank the divine for everything that we've got. And we think, we must have done something right in life to be able to be blessed as much as we are. And even though pigs weren't on my manifestation list when we moved up here, I specifically wrote on the manifestation list, no pigs. And we got pigs. I guess it doesn't always work the way you want, but I don't like the solution. The solution is that they're going to be shot, but it's not in our hands. It's not us that are doing it. We're not making that decision, which is in a way good, because if it was up to us to make a decision, they would just be multiplying more and more and more until we wouldn't be able to. Kitko would be too frightened to leave their house. I don't fear them that much. I'll go out there with the torch at night when I hear them, and I'll walk towards them, and I know that they're not going to attack me because I just will be shouting with a deep "get out" sort of thing with a deep voice, and I know they're going to run away from me because they're more frightened of me than I ever will be of them. But I am very weary of them too. And if I go in the orchard, I walk by the trees so that if I suddenly hear one running towards me, I'll jump up in the tree and escape them, because I don't want to be. I've heard there are people that are chased by pigs. I've heard quite a few stories from Aussies of pigs that have been chasing them. And it's not something that I'd care to experience myself.
But I would not be able to run.
No.
So I'm not afraid of them. Anyway, it's true. We just count our blessings. That's all we can do. And hope the pigs would just move on somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's a really sick world we live in, that we hope also, even if we don't want to, that somebody else going to terminate them, you know.
Yeah, because what else can we do? It's not a nice thing to think that you hope that somebody will kill them, but we know that if they don't kill them, we're lost, and we don't want to be involved. We don't want to have any blood on our hands. Like Edgar said at the beginning, we would never pay somebody to come and do it, even though people have offered me on the markets. I've had somebody say, well, I'll come there and shoot them for you. And I wouldn't do that.
We say no.
I say no to that.
It's very ironic.
It's almost moronic that we know the solution is we're waiting for somebody else to kill them. And it's very, very sad.
Yeah, that's what we're not happy about,
Yeah.
really, you know, that we live in a world where people kill each other, you know, and that's even more sad.
Yeah.
And we hope for a better world.
Yeah, we do.
And also the pigs, because they make the terrain so uneven,
Yeah.
and sometimes really deep ditches. So when it grows over by the grass, now it's raining, which happens very fast.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous to walk there. You can do,
Twist your ankle or something.
yeah, or even break your leg.
Fortunately, the front of the house, touch wood, so far, they've not come there. They've been at the back of the house always, very, very close, right up close to the house, only like a meter away from the house. They've been digging.
Yeah, I think they're going slowly like this.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't want to think too much about it. But we just, you know, what's going on here. It's not easy. I know a lot of people will idealize this kind of lifestyle, and it isn't easy. And maybe there are parts of the world where it is. Maybe there are parts of the world. I mean, I would love to hear. I mean, you guys that are living in Ecuador in your communities there, don't you have problems with these kind of animals that come in? I guess you've got no pigs. I guess you've got no brush turkeys. And you don't realize how destructive they can be there.
Or do you have some other predators?
Maybe you've got some other predators.
They give you a big headache.
Yeah.
And destroying your work
Yeah.
you love so much. And it's heartbreaking if you see beautiful plant and thriving and getting each year better. Suddenly within
very sad.
half an hour it's
Because
gone.
we know that we can't grow things like tomatoes and cucumbers. I've grown them in the past. But the brush turkey now, as soon as the ground is wet during the dry season, if you water the ground, that's it. He's in there digging straight away. So we can't grow anything like that. We're just growing trees. I would love to be growing tomatoes too, but it's kind of a waste of time because you can put them in there. They may be all right and even fruiting, and then suddenly the roots are gone and the whole plant's dead. And I don't know. It's sad. So please let us know if you're growing your own food. What kind of things are you having to put up with? Because we've got pigs, we've got brush turkeys, we've got the insects. I guess we've got rats and that. I guess we've got possums that will come and eat the flowers on the tree before they even fruit, so that they'll prevent the fruit. I'm sure that's what happened with our mango trees. They were covered in flower. We thought we were going to get a really good crop. And then when it came to cropping, there was hardly anything. There was really, this year, we didn't get many at all. And I've heard that possums will eat the flowers, and they'll go up on a big mango tree and they'll eat all the flowers off the tree, so you never get any fruit. What do you do in a situation like this? How do you... Anybody else who's living this kind of lifestyle, please let us know what you think. What's your solution?
Here some people put net around the trees, but here we will have to put it on But we're not that kind of people, you
No,
know.
we don't. We
We
don't
want to
even.
have it easy, kind of naturally.
Yeah.
And it's in my mind to buying kilometers of some net and sticking it on. You know, the mango trees, they're huge.
We
And
wouldn't be able to get it up there anyway. We haven't got
We will
machinery
have
for
to
that
get,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
we will have to have some company come and install it all. And it's, and then a tree grows through it, you know.
Yeah.
It's,
It would get caught in the branches. It would,
yeah,
within the first year, it would all be a waste of money.
you will have
Nothing
to
like
put,
that would work.
because you have to put it on and off.
Yeah.
You can't leave it even there.
That's another
It's-
thing. We've got fruit bats. I just forgot fruit bats.
Yeah, fruit bats. And the problem, I see the bad better. The problem is there is not enough fruit trees around the world. There is huge cow paddocks everywhere
Mm.
and very little bit of fruit trees. There is a huge field of grains. There is very little bit of the fruit trees. And this is imbalance in this world, because years back, I even remember that. And I believe the more back we look, more fruit trees were in every garden. I was in one beautiful, at a beautiful holiday at the Greek island Tassos. That's a beautiful island in a little village. I forgot the name of the village. And every garden had food in it. There was few flowers, but the rest of it was food, and mainly fruit. And grapes, every house have on the front next to the house grape vine with the big pergola. I have a photo, I should look for it. The trees were that big trunk,
Grapevine.
very old grapevine trees, and they live thousands of years. I don't know, maybe 1,000 years only, but definitely 1,000, maybe over. And we got as the present from one lady. We were admiring her garden, and she climbed up and picked for us that big bunch of Greek grapes. So yummy.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
that's what we have to do.
put more. Everybody get out there and plant your fruit trees. I still wouldn't know what you would do with the pigs, but get out there and plant the fruit trees. Yeah.
The more trees,
The more
better.
the better.
Then
more
when
giving
it's
us.
undamaged,
Yeah.
there's still some left.
Yeah. So I think we've waffled on enough. I think we'll finish for today. So I'm going to say goodbye. Bye from me.
And even the bad things happen to you in your life, always think positive and cultivate love in your heart, even for those naughty pigs, because after all, they're living creatures, and we here to love and not to destroy. Don't do what they're doing. They're not good example for us. So we love you and thank you for coming. Listen to what we have to share with you. Until next time. Bye.
Yeah.